Today's episode of the Ross Cloud podcast is sponsored in part by GospelStationCharts.com, where you can view gospel radio station song charts and track the promotion of your song, such as view how many stations are playing your song and how often, including what day and time your song played. Check it out now. Visit GospelStationCharts.com.
Hello and welcome to the Ross Cloud podcast. I'm your host, Chris Ross. And this platform was created to motivate and to inspire in hopes that you will become a better you as we travel, as we navigate through the clouds of life, empowering one another. Listen, we have a very, very special guest with us on today. But before we get started with our special guest, Sonny.
Hey!
Our co-host is with the Moses is here with us today, Cassandra Wright. How are you, man? How are you?
I am great.
Awesome.
I'm great.
Awesome. Glad to be back in the house today.
Yeah.
Glad you got here safely.
I'm happy to be here.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be an awesome show today. One that I couldn't wait for you to be a part of. Let me first say that because both of you guys' energy are the same. I love it. I love it. Matching energy.
We're kindred souls.
Kindred soul. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And we have our special guest with us. We're not going to hold the folks up any longer. We have Miss Kathy Mao, who is a life coach and someone who has dealt with in vitro fertilization, just an amazing, positive individual who's chiming with us on today, all the way from California. What's up, Kathy? Yay!
Oh my gosh, I'm so honored and excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, Kathy. Listen, we thank you for you. We're thankful for you gracing us with your presence on today. And as stated before, we know you're a life coach, and we're going to get into in vitro fertilization, something you've dealt with firsthand. You have experience with dealing with it, and we're just looking forward to it. I love the fact that we were able to do a meet and greet on Instagram and then talk later, and then we were able to make this happen. And I'm super elated, excited to have this conversation with you. Yes.
Yay!
I'm excited to share my knowledge and just my story. So thank you for giving me the space to do it and just to, talk about this subject that is kind of, taboo. So the more we talk about it, the more we can normalize it.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So let's go ahead and get started. Where are you from originally, Kathy?
Well, I'm originally from San Jose, California, but I'm actually Chinese, and I'm a Chinese American. So in the Chinese culture, I'm called an ABC, American-born Chinese. So
I love it. So your parents were immigrants? Your parents were immigrants?
Yes, my parents were immigrants.
Oh,
so
wow.
My mom immigrated from Vietnam, and then my dad from Taiwan. So
what was that journey like for them coming over? If you don't mind sharing a little bit about that.
Of course. It was tough. So my mom actually had to flee the Vietnam War during that time. So during that time, Vietnam War was going on, and she's the eldest in her family. So she was trying to escape and just be able to leave that really bad environment. So she was a refugee, and she got, I guess, into Indonesia, and then somehow she was able to come to the States. So, when you're immigrants, it's not determined where you're going to go. So my mom ended up in Connecticut. And then my dad, I guess somehow his dad was in the military or some sort, and he was able to immigrate to the U.S. through that. My dad didn't really talk a lot about his past. We learned more of it from my grandma. So
Sure. I think that's very interesting that you said they didn't really have a clue about where they were going to be.
Yeah. Yes.
That's right. That's kind of like, that's crazy. Yeah. So you don't get to decide on where you want to go just because you get your visa and everything passes and you can come over.
Yeah. No, it's just like how many people that country's going to take, and then you just apply, and then they just accept you or not. So it's really up to the country's decision if they want to accept you or not.
So you know what's so crazy about that, Sonny, and I'll let you jump in. Yeah, what's so crazy about that process is how do they prepare for where they're going to live, like the
Right.
cost of living, like how, you can't research that.
Right. Like I'm curious as to, to know more about that
Me
process too,
too.
because what is the time frame also on getting the visa? Like it's not a
Yeah.
quick process, right?
Yeah, it's not. I'm sure it took my parents a long time to get citizenship here.
Okay.
But I remember my mom telling me it took at least 3 to 6 months. It could take up to years. It just depends on like who's processing the paperwork, etc. But
Mm-hmm.
hers kind of got fast forwarded because I guess my her aunt and uncle lived in the States, so they were able
Hmm.
to have somebody, like if you
Okay.
have family within the States, they can help you in some sort
Okay.
to bring you in. But it's not guaranteed like usual. It's up to the country or whoever is doing the paperwork. So, you know,
Wow.
that's why being
That's a
immigrants is a hard life.
It
yeah.
really is. And I was
Oh.
going to say, too, even as it pertains to the aspect of, like, I believe Medicaid and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
certain services, I think you actually have to be here for a certain amount of time
Are you
in order for you
serious?
to be eligible. Yeah, you don't just
Wow.
automatically get
Wow.
Medicaid. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Man, talk about a serious journey to get over to the states to just to change your life and have a better life, and
Yeah.
to have a better life for your kids if you're deciding to have kids also as well. So it's not just about the couple; it becomes about the family in
Yeah.
totality. You have one plan, and then you get over here, and of course, your mom met your father,
Yeah.
and then now you're here. How many siblings do you have, if you have any?
Yeah. So I have an older brother and I have two sisters. I have an older sister and a twin sister. So four of us.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. Now, where are you as
Yes.
far as the rankings? Are you like the middle
So
child?
I'm the youngest. Technically, I'm
Ooh,
the youngest
baby.
by 9 minutes.
So you almost
Yeah.
got a twin then.
No, I have a
Oh,
twin.
So you
So
are the
oh, you are a
twin.
yeah,
twin.
I am the twin.
Okay.
So I am the twin. I
Wow.
have a twin
Oh.
sister. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Okay. That kind of okay.
I know that, but I didn't know.
I didn't
Yeah,
either.
I thought we did talk about the siblings,
I
but I
thought we did
didn't
too. We didn't.
remember.
Yeah.
That you were actually the twin.
That's
That's
pretty cool.
awesome.
Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
spoiled? Are you spoiled?
I don't think so, but I
Yeah,
don't
you
know what
Probably
probably
my
are.
are. Right. She sounds like my sister
Yeah.
because I
Okay.
have a younger sister. I'm the middle child. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay then.
But yeah, she
Yeah.
doesn't know that she's
No,
spoiled,
she
but
doesn't know.
she is.
She is, huh?
So
probably.
She
you
said probably.
probably are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you probably are, Kathy. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It really is okay.
That is cute. That's
Yeah, that's pretty
interesting.
awesome. So, what was your upbringing like for you? Because by this time, you guys are in California now, right?
Yeah. So
Okay,
my
what was
parents
what was
met
life
in
like for you?
and then my dad wanted to move to California, and it's been good. Our childhood was pretty rough. My
Mm,
parents actually owned a fast food restaurant, so growing up, my siblings, and my whole family had to work and to support
wow.
our family. So
Mm-hmm.
I knew what hard work was at a young age, and like living a fast-paced life and having
Sure.
to, yeah, really know how to earn money and understand that it takes hard work to earn money,
Mm.
and to have everything that we get. So I never take anything for granted because I saw like we literally had to make one burger to like make $1, pretty much like that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you see the whole process instead of taking it for granted. Like other kids, like they just got to play after school. We went home and had to help, So
Yeah,
Had to
so
work.
it was schoolwork.
yeah,
Yeah.
So schoolwork while in the
yeah,
business, back to work again.
yeah, pretty much that.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, as a kid, you don't appreciate it, but as an adult now, I'm like, okay, now I learned hard work. I understand
Yes.
more. So
Mm-hmm.
I do look at
Mm-hmm.
the life lessons and I love it. But at the time, it's not fun.
I was
Oh,
gonna
heck
say it
no.
teaches good work ethics,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
right?
does.
So basically, it maybe made you a little bit more mature. How about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we definitely had to grow up faster for
Sure,
sure.
sure, sure.
Definitely.
Oh,
Now,
that's
do
good
you
stuff.
guys still have that business?
No, my dad,
Okay.
Okay.
unfortunately, so he retired and then he got sick and passed away when I was like
Oh
25,
Oh,
26.
no.
Or yeah, it's been 8 years, but then my mom's still here. And
yeah.
so she's, like, they were so in love. So she's still like, missing him. And that
Oh
Sure,
was like the
yeah.
love of
yes.
her life. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
it's been tough for
yeah.
her.
I'm sorry for your loss
Me
too.
too.
Oh,
I
thank
Yes.
didn't know
you.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because you wouldn't know that someone the way you act, Kathy. Let me say it like that. Your
Yeah.
behavior is one of such that's pure light. So
Oh, thank you.
yeah, it's good to see someone handling that grief because I'm sure you still go through certain grief. You still have those grieving days. Well, I miss Papa. I miss Daddy. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That's Daddy. So
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, so you sure you have those moments, but you have been able to overcome that. Now you have your own family. And did your
Yeah.
husband get a chance to meet your father?
Yes, yes, he
Oh,
did. He
cool,
got
cool.
lucky. So he got lucky. My dad was a very special man. Like he is
Mm,
so memorable. We had
yeah.
we had the restaurant at a very small suburban town in
Okay.
California. And so it was a
Hmm.
small town. Everybody knew each other, but everybody knew my dad. They loved
Oh,
Oh,
him.
okay.
And
Cool,
they
cool,
still
cool.
know him till this day.
Oh
So
man,
it's,
that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
that's
So,
good.
so when did you guys decide that hey, we're going to have a child? All right, let's go ahead and
Yeah.
just get right into it.
Yeah.
You guys are married, in love, and you want to have a family. But then there's a roadblock that comes up. What was that like when that roadblock happening when it happened at the moment that it happened? What was the thought process then? What was going on then? And you're still dealing with grief
Yeah.
compiled onto now we want to have a family and I find out we can't.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So I went through infertility issues. So I got married in my 30s, a little later than usual. So we
Okay.
wanted to try for a family right after, because
Sure.
unfortunately we do kind of have a time clock as a woman. So
Hmm.
I was trying, and then I thought I was gonna it was gonna be easy. I thought you just do it and you have a baby, like what we're taught at school, unfortunately, right?
Yeah, it is that easy.
Right. I guess it can be
Look, it can be for some of
for
us.
some, yeah, for some
Okay,
folks.
that happened to both my sisters. They tried once and did it, and that happened. But
Yeah.
that was literally how naive I was, because this was what I was taught, like, at
Mm-hmm.
school. And
Hmm.
then,
Mm-hmm.
and my parents don't teach us about this as Asians.
Sure.
We don't talk about issues like this. Like, we don't talk
I
about anything of
understand.
that sort. So
I
then
understand.
we, after trying and trying, um, I just went down this rabbit hole of, like, depression, anxiety, because every
Mm.
month I was testing and then testing negative on pregnancy tests. And then I was just so disconnected from my whole body. Like, I literally didn't know how to, like, track ovulation. Like, I had to learn these things. Like, oh, I ovulate at what certain time. And, like, you have to download an app. And it's just like a lot.
Hmm.
It's a
Oh
lot
wow.
emotionally and physically. Like, people don't tell
Mm.
you this. And and then you have a relationship, like, thinking
Yeah.
about, like, your significant other too. And
Yeah.
so
Right.
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
lot going on. And after 2 years or a year and a half trying, we wanted to finally take the route of, like, doing anything we can. So we thought of IVF as a route as well, because obviously it wasn't helping or, like, doing anything, doing it naturally.
Yeah.
So but later on, I find out it's because I have endometriosis. It's like a chronic illness that really affects fertility as well.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that was what was causing my fertility issues. And then, yeah, after that, I had to get finally I got my diagnosis, which was helpful. It gave me answers so I can kind of like start to understand my body more, how to kind of treat it in a sense. And then I got a laparoscopy surgery to help with my endometriosis. And then right after, I went through the IVF process, which was another draining, emotional. Yeah, it drains your money and emotions and physical, like everything. So it was literally the craziest year by far, besides my dad passing. But after that, it was like, ooh, I learned a lot that year.
Yeah. Did you have to alter your diet in any kind of
Right.
way?
Yeah, that's what, that's what
Yes.
I was
Okay.
gonna know. Go
Yeah, yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yes. So I did have to, because at the time, like during my depressed state, I was like masking my emotions with
Mm.
alcohol. So I cut that out, because in our society, it's
Okay.
like, oh yeah, like let's party, let's have fun, let's drink, like it's
Yeah.
normal. But it's like if you're trying to
Yeah.
have a baby, you should definitely stay away from alcohol, because you're literally telling your body like you're not ready to carry a child. Like it's pretty essential.
Mm.
Like what you're telling, like what you put in your body is what you're feeding it, right? And like those are the cells that are making your body healthy or not. So I was not fully healthy in my mind, really, I guess. If you think about it, looking back, I was like not really taking my health into consideration. But when I started changing that, stopping alcohol, like eating more whole foods, understanding how food nourishes my body, like what
Mm.
minerals and nutrients that I needed, because I have
Yeah.
endometriosis too. We lack a lot of nutrients because our body is always on fire. It's like inflamed because it's like a chronic illness. So it's like my cells are already using itself to try to like restore it. It like does not have enough minerals and nutrients to make make whatever's going on to carry a baby. So I think it's just like my body was telling it, like, you're on fight and flight mode. You're not able to carry this child. So through my infertility issues, I learned that. But I had to learn it. Like I had to research, because I'm kind of a nerd. I like to research and understand the whole system and how everything works together. And so that's how like I learned about like holistic living, I guess, where I was like, oh, I worked on my physical. Now I realize it affects my mental. And I was like, whoa, okay, I see that. Like me empowering myself, working on my body, I started feeling more confident. I still started feeling happier, where it started connecting each other. And then spiritually too, somehow it integrated me finding my spirituality too in all of this. So all of that, yes, it was a bad, hard moment in time, but I learned so much that
Yeah.
in that really bad time in my life, that I know it's crazy to say, but I wouldn't take back, because it has led me to where I am today. And I can be here on this platform talking to you guys about it openly and sharing my journey and story.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes.
I love that.
Honestly, even just hearing, you talk about your parents and things that they experienced in trying to, be acclimated into the States, it was really a part of your DNA anyway as a survivor, because for them to survive something, like that, and be able to start a business and have a family, it was really already inside of you anyway. It was just you had to find that, for yourself. So that's amazing. I'm so happy that we met, girl.
Oh,
This is
thank you.
beautiful.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
This is absolutely beautiful, and I mean that's what this. When I created this podcast, this is what it was supposed to be. Networking with people and talking with people,
Oh
because
yeah.
everybody has a story,
Yes.
and somebody can say something that can help you.
Yes.
And this is beautiful, Kathy. And so now, here you are now.
Yes. And
Everything. I gotta ask you, what was the most expensive process though with going through this? I had to ask that. If that's
Yeah,
okay, you don't mind divulging
yeah,
of that. Okay, all right.
of course. So, the IVF process is very intense, and a lot of people don't talk about it. Well, I think more people are open to talking about it now than
Sure.
before, but it's still, again, a taboo thing, still, I believe. But the IVF process is a lot of money. So, you know, when you do IVF, it's like it's kind of like science where they take the sperm and the egg and then they make a little embryo, which, supposed to turn into like a baby, right? So that just getting that embryo process is a lot. So, my husband and I first had to test and see what's going on. I had to get my eggs counted to see how many egg follicles I have. And then my husband had to test if his sperm was okay. That's like the beginning. And you don't even think about that, but that's the essential part. And then after they count, so you have to go through like the process of like getting medication, which is super expensive. So, I think one of the most expensive things is the medication itself. So I think I spent like $10,000 on just medication itself, depending. And then
Jeez.
like the procedure itself there's two different procedures, by the way. So one is like retrieving the eggs from that's the first one, and then the second one is putting the embryo, implanting it into your uterus. So that's two procedures that
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
happen through the IVF. So I think each procedure is like 3 to 5K depending itself. So, and
Jeez.
mind you, like it's not a guarantee. So it just depends how many eggs you have. So I think at the time I only had, I think like 8 good eggs or something, 4 to 8, I forgot. Oh, no, I had 8 eggs. And so once they retrieve the eggs, they try to make it into an embryo. So they were able to make only 4 embryos out of
Yeah,
those
see,
8 eggs.
That's,
Okay.
that's,
And
that's
then
wild.
that's a
after,
lot.
you have to
Yeah.
wait like a couple days for the embryo to form. So oh man, that was such a nerve-wracking like time because you don't know if you're gonna have an embryo or not. And I only had one good embryo out of the
Wow.
4.
Out of the 4 that they were able, well, it started off with 8, right?
So I
But
had 8
they,
eggs, yeah, and then
Okay.
so
they were
they
only
they
be able
did
to
that, and
do.
then only 4 was able to form into
Okay.
embryos, and then only
Wow.
one good embryo out of those 4.
Man,
So it's
wow.
And
just
you
like
had
a lot.
so let me get this right, Kathy. So that one procedure or is that
Yeah,
8?
that's
Is
just
that
I
8?
was,
No, that's just one procedure. So
Okay,
when they
okay.
retrieve the eggs, they'll retrieve as many eggs as possible
Oh,
in that
okay,
okay.
one
all at one
time.
time.
Woo.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay,
so it
right.
depends on how many good
Dang.
eggs you have. So I
Okay.
only had
Yeah.
8 eggs, but like I think normal, it depends on your age too. So like as you
Okay.
get older, you get less eggs in your ovaries. And so that's why they have to track like how you're like, like when you're ovulating, they can be able to check like how many egg follicles you have, and then they can determine
Sure.
how many eggs. It's pretty crazy in
Yeah.
advance, but it's just a lot. And so, even getting blood tests, like they charge you for every blood test, every ultrasound, like it's a lot.
Ooh.
Yes, I'm
Yeah, that
sure.
sounds
Yeah.
And
like a
see,
lot.
insurance doesn't cover, that much. Well, not the average insurance, I don't
Yeah, I
believe.
Yeah.
don't think so.
Yes. So the average insurance definitely does not cover IVF processes, but at the time I was working for a big law firm, so we had pretty good insurance where I got like a $10,000 maximum that
Yeah.
they covered.
So that
So
was the
that's rare
cut
though.
off.
That's like really rare to have like a
Wow.
like that into
Yeah.
your health plan. So I got lucky.
Yeah.
I didn't even know when I worked. But looking back, I'm like, okay, the universe made me work here so I can try this IVF process
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
I wouldn't be able to afford that on my own. That's just too much,
Wow.
So at least getting some kind of benefits and help from that was,
Yeah.
helpful. So I only had one good embryo, but then once they implanted that, I was only able to be pregnant for 2 weeks, and then I got a miscarriage, unfortunately, after that. So this is why it's very tough because the IVF process doesn't guarantee you having a child after spending so much money. So through that
Yeah.
whole process, I have no embryos and no baby, but everybody thinks
Wow.
like, oh, if you do IVF, it's like kind of like, oh, you're privileged and you're more guaranteed to have a child, but it's kind of up to fate still, even if it's through science.
Yeah.
It's the magic still has to work. Like the unexplainable still has to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's not just it's financial,
Yeah.
it's emotional because I can only imagine,
Yeah.
being on pins and needles
Yeah.
hoping that, that it happens, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
the
It's hard.
letdown when it doesn't. So that's
Yeah.
pretty major.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the crazy part is you have to inject these things into yourself, like the like, when you're injecting yourself to
What?
um form like to have the eggs and whatever release, like it's a lot. It's a lot. And I
Yeah.
think it really tested my relationship with my husband. He doesn't like giving shots, so when we first had to do the first shot, we got in a huge fight because
Oh my
we were
gosh.
both scared because he was scared to give it to me and then I was scared to receive it or do it myself. And then
Exactly.
I think we were just like, and then I was like,
Yeah, that's
don't
a
touch
lot to
me.
do.
You
I
can't
yeah,
have
I
it
couldn't
wet,
even imagine. Right.
and then it's just like you're injecting
Oh
yourself with a lot of
boy.
hormones too. It's
Yeah, that's
a
a
lot
lot.
and it hurts.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Where
So
do
like,
you
yeah.
where did you have to stick yourself?
Yeah, that was what I
So
was
it's
gonna ask.
Oh,
In
kind
okay.
the
of like,
stomach?
yeah, in your stomach area. So you would
Okay.
like
Okay.
lower abdomen, like where under your belly button, kind of anywhere under
Gotcha.
your belly button area. And so you would have to just pick spots that's not bruised. And then you would have to look because that's how many shots you're getting, and you do get,
Ooh,
bruising from these shots.
yeah.
Wait a minute. So how many times did you have to get the
Um
injections?
yeah, so it just depends. So different plans, it just depends on the IVF doctor and how your planning goes. But so for me, I think I had to do twice a day. So it was a lot, but at least
Oh my gosh.
every day. Or sometimes you would have to do like 2 shots per like time, like right. And it's all about timing too. So it's so stressful. Like we had to carry, like I didn't even want to go out sometimes because then I would have to carry the needle and like the medication to like inject myself with it, which was
Mm-hmm.
really not fun. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Did you even have to keep it at a certain temperature though?
Yeah,
That's
you
a
Was
have
it
to
good
keep it
question.
fridged actually. So like
Okay.
the
okay?
little
Mm-hmm.
syringe like medication things, like you have to
Yeah.
keep it in the fridge. So it has to be like a certain temperature or else, like they say if it's out then it can alter the percentage of how it's going to work. And so it's
Wow.
all about science and mathematical, etc. So it's very, very stressful. Like honestly,
Oh my
I
Oh, it
gosh.
sounds
and
like it.
and I was like, anybody who does it more than once, like honestly, these people are warriors. Like it's tough. It's
Yeah.
emotionally draining,
Well,
like
I
you're
mutually.
a
think,
warrior
yeah,
really
you
for
are a
Thank you.
warrior.
doing all of this, like even just hearing it,
I
because I
know,
don't
right?
I don't know much about it. I mean, I'm familiar with the ovulation,
Hmm.
calendar and stuff like
Yeah.
that because there was a time, I had already had 2 kids and
Yeah.
I was worried because I was like, well, I'm older now. Am I going to be able to? It wasn't happening. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had to pull out a calendar. I was just, I was real anal about it and all that stuff. So
Mm.
I get what you're saying about the ovulation calendar.
Yeah.
It is something to get used to. But, and then, experiencing, the miscarriage because I've had one as well. And it's not a good feeling.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what your age was at that time when you were trying, because I believe I may have been in my early 40s, may have been like
Oh
41,
wow.
42.
Wow.
So I was kind of,
Yeah.
well, no, I actually, no, I was not. I was in my late 30s. Yeah, I was in my late 30s because I'm
Wow.
49 now. I got to think about it because
Oh my
Yeah.
I'm
God, you
almost
look
at
so
that.
good.
Girl, thank
Girl,
you.
you look amazing.
Thank you so much. I strive now. That's the goodness of God. It has nothing to do with me. But
Ah.
yeah, I mean, just thinking about that process and just that mental, because I remember where I was like, hey, I'm used to just popping a kid out. How
Yeah.
can I not just get
Yeah.
Yeah.
pregnant? And
Yeah.
but
Uh,
just to hear, your story and just all of this stuff that you've gone
Oh.
through. But at the end of it all things, you know what? I don't know what your religion is, but for me, when I heard you talking about the story and telling us what's going on, all things work together for the good of them who love God and that are the called of according to His purpose. And regardless of whether you believe in my God, I still believe that God is one and in the same. I don't care what you know what race it is. You know what religion. It's all a higher being for us all, and so I'm just thankful, you know, that everything lined up for you, and so you guys have a beautiful baby boy or girl?
Girl.
A baby
Girl.
girl. See?
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
How's your baby girl now?
She's a year and a half. So I
Oh,
had her, in my early
awesome.
30s. I think
Yay.
like 33 at the time now. I mean, I
Okay.
can't even do math right now. I'm like,
I
how
know.
old am I?
I was doing the same thing. I'm like,
Wow.
wait.
I know. I mean, I'm just thinking about like this. Just actually, to piggyback off of what Sonny said. I'm trying to keep it professional.
Right, you
but
trying not to call me Sonny, but
Sonny,
it's okay.
but I'm trying to keep it professional. But you know, just sitting here thinking about the physical aspect of like the bruising and the soreness of your body after those injections, because you know after you get an injection, your body's sore. So I can't even imagine.
And then having to do it so many times.
So many
now,
times you're putting your body through that.
Yeah.
But like we said, the beauty now, your baby girl is here, and she has to be special. Every child is special, but you know, she's gonna do something great in this world. You know,
I really think
Definitely.
so. I think that God really gifted me her, like, you know, because she really is my gem. Like her nickname is Gem, but her name is Gemma, and in European, it's a European name, but that really, you know, it means gem. So that's what we call her. She's my little gem because we literally had her actually after having IVF, and we're gonna try for a second round. And right before I was gonna start my second round, I was already talking to doctors, and I even ordered the medication for it, and I found out I was pregnant, like naturally. So it was crazy.
Oh.
So after all of this, after all of the tests and the trials and the heartaches and the pain.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's a beautiful story.
Yes,
Beautiful.
it is. Yes, it is. But even with your obstacles, you are using that to help inspire other women, right?
I love that.
Yes. So I use my story as just a way to give people hope, because honestly, at the time when I was going through my infertility issues and not having a diagnosis for what was going on or even knowing. So I just felt alone. I felt like literally I was by myself. Obviously that's not true, but when you're going through something yourself, you literally feel alone. That's why you get depressed, right? That's why you get anxiety.
I'm telling you.
That's
yes.
Right?
Yes.
So this is why we need community.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
Yeah.
I just was talking about that this morning. It's about strong friends, because I'm a strong friend, and oftentimes we take our strong friends for granted, that while, you know, we're pouring out to others, you know, there are times that we need that as well. And so for you to be in that space, and definitely, I'm sure you felt alone. I'm sure you felt isolated. I'm even sure that it felt weird, even as far as your connection with your husband.
Oh yeah.
As a woman, because of that. You know what I mean? The fact that, you know, how come I can't, you know, have a baby naturally for my husband, you know? So
I love that.
I had that. I had extra pressure too, because in the Asian culture, you know, you're supposed to be able to bear a child, and he's the eldest son, and his parents don't have grandchildren either.
Oh my goodness.
My mom's fine. She already has 6 other grandbabies. She's fine. My mom's cool. But for my husband, you know, like his parents would keep asking me, like, "Oh, are you guys trying? When's my baby? Where's my grandchild? Where's my grandchild?" It's like, we're trying.
A lot of pressure.
So that too put a lot of pressure on me as well.
Sure.
And that was tough. So, you know, that's why it's like me talking about it openly. I just want people to know that you're not alone, and there is help, there is community, there is, if you really want something, you would be able to attain it if that's what you truly want. But a lot of us aren't aware when we're really depressed or in that really hard period of time. We don't want to see anything but like the truth that we see in right in front of us, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I thank you so much for sharing that too.
Yes.
How long have you and your husband been together?
We've been together, so I met him when I was 22. So at the time, we've been together for like 10 years already, 10, 11 years.
Wow.
So we just got married later in life because
Sure.
in California, everything's expensive. We're trying to save for
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
everything.
I understand. No. I understand that. I just think
Definitely.
it's beautiful that you guys were able to hold on to the, what's the word I'm looking for? Just hold on to the true essence of what marriage is.
Yeah, their
for better or for
union.
worse,
Yeah.
the union.
Yeah.
To be able to hold on to that, because I'm sure it was tough during that time.
Yeah.
So just the beauty in the fact that you guys were able to stay together
Yes.
and then have a beautiful baby and then continue on to, just to see what God is doing for you in your life is beautiful, Kathy. So it's just like you
Thank
said,
you.
Sonny, it's a beautiful story within itself.
Yes.
It is a story that somebody's going to be able to relate to.
Definitely,
Aw.
son. You're going to be able to help somebody, but you're already doing that
Yeah,
too
you are,
because
yeah.
you're a life coach, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let's talk.
Yes.
Tell us about
Yeah.
Yeah.
what brought that inspiration on for
Yeah.
you to decide to do become a life coach, and how long have you been doing it? And
Yeah.
tell us about that.
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks for asking that. So I've always been the one in my family to or friends that people would come to for problems or like, issues or just to talk. So I've always loved doing that ever since I was little. But then through my infertility journey, that's kind of when it clicked for me, like, oh, there's more meaning to life than like me just doing my 9 to 5. Because at the time I was like, dude, I want this kid so bad and I actually got it. Like, there's no answers for this, right? Like, it just
Yeah.
happened. Like, okay, so
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I finally felt like it led me into my life purpose of like helping other people. And I was like, and then at the time it was COVID time, right? Coaching became a huge thing. And so it's like now life coaching is like has popped up everywhere. And so I found, or at the time I was listening to Jay Shetty, and he's a life coach. And I don't know if you know him, but he has, a podcast and he talks about helping other people. And so I just found life coaching and I looked at it and I was like, this is exactly what I can do and help. So I got my certificate.
Okay.
When I was pregnant, I got my certificate in 2021. And then I've been coaching since then. So I'm
Awesome.
fairly kind of new to it, but I love it so much.
Yeah.
And it literally is my life purpose to help other women or people in general, actually.
Let me tell you something about the beauty in that. You decided that you were going to go get your certificate while you were pregnant,
Right.
Kathy.
Right.
After
Oh,
putting your
yeah.
body, your
That's true.
mental,
While you're
your
going through.
relationship,
Yeah.
while you're going through all of that, that's a true testament of what the human body can do and what you can do mentally and physically with God's help. Like what you can just do if you keep a positive mindset. And so look at you now. You're a life coach.
Yes.
And just the journey alone.
I know. I mean,
Like,
it's almost like
crazy.
it could be in a book.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
you should be writing a book. Yeah.
I
Seriously.
am. Oh my God, isn't that crazy?
Good.
Cool.
Good.
Well, yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
I am in the journey of writing my book, and
Okay. Yeah.
it's beautiful, and I would love to share it when I'm ready for it.
Oh,
Yes.
trust me.
Awesome.
Open invitation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Open
Yes.
invitation. We'll send you the address so we can get our autograph
Please.
copies. And
Yeah,
everything.
for sure.
Has to be.
For sure. No, you guys are gonna have to come. Like, I'm gonna fly to you guys physically and hand give it to you guys.
Oh, now that'll be beautiful too,
Yes,
Kathy.
that's awesome.
Hey, that'll be awesome too.
Oh, yeah.
We can't wait to see it. I
Yes.
promise you.
Yeah.
I promise you we can. So This has been absolutely amazing,
Yes,
right?
yes, a wonderful, wonderful journey
Yeah.
that you've been on, and it's just, it's a good story, and
It is
it's
beautiful.
good to help inspire other people and couples, also couples. You know,
Also
I don't know if
couples.
you had thought about that
Yeah.
because,
Oh
you
no.
know, you got to
Yeah.
think about the things that your husband was experiencing as well.
Oh
So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
this was a big
Big deal.
journey.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and then there was something else that I wanted to ask about the um, endom. Say it again. I can't.
Endometriosis. Yeah,
Endometriosis.
endometriosis. Yes.
Okay, so you said that you found out that you were
Yeah.
diagnosed with that after the fact, but did
Yes.
you have any signs or symptoms that anything was
Yeah.
going on beforehand and maybe you just kind of discounted until you got to this point where you were trying to have a baby?
Yes. So, oh my gosh, that's such a good question because it is true. So, endometriosis, they kind of catalyze it as like a period pain problem, which is definitely not. It's more than
Okay.
that, but it's literally one of the most top 10 painful things that someone can have. And actually,
Wow.
1 in 10 women have this. So it's very
Okay.
common to have it, but a lot of us women get dismissed as,
Wow.
oh, it's nothing. It's just your period, right? Like it's just painful period. Get over it.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
what they teach us. So as a kid, right? Like a lot of us don't even have adequate female like education. So
Yeah, definitely.
I had heavy flows, like I had very, very painful periods.
Oh wow.
And then those are like early signs of like what endometriosis can have. But when you get older, like especially me going through infertility, like my periods were irregular. Like I couldn't even tell you like when I was ovulating, etc.
Oh my goodness.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
uh, and then you don't, and like you grow like these things, like you can grow all these like lesions and stuff all over your body
Oh
because it's kind of
goodness.
like
Oh really?
it's kind of like compared to as cancerous, like in a sense where cancer can grow all over your body and you have cancer cells, so you have like endometriosis cells in your body that can go everywhere and cause this
Wow.
pain. um but it's just mostly forms kind of in the women's productive area, and it can affect that area mostly, but you can find in other all and everywhere in your body. But so those are like early signs. So I kind of had a feeling and I started researching, and like Tia and Tamara Mowry? So like they used to have their
Mm-hmm.
show back in college, like I don't know, in my 20s. They had their own show, and like I think Tia had endometriosis, and so I kind of was like, hey,
Wow.
that sounds like me. Okay, so I
Okay.
was just like listening about it, and I was like, hey, that kind of sounds like me, my journey, right? But I took birth control in my 20s to my 30s for a decade, so I didn't really think about it. It kind of masked. And so when I
Okay.
Wow.
got off of birth control, that's when it restarted again, because right, my when I started my period, like when I started having my periods in my teens, that's you can already have those symptoms, and then it stopped, and
Mm-hmm.
then I started having pain like every single night. I couldn't sleep like every day, so I had to get surgery to remove like the endometriosis in me. So
Oh
it
wow.
actually grew on my ovaries. So I had two.
Mm.
So usually you know, they're ovarian cysts, but like literally it's caused from endometriosis. So I had like two 6 centimeters, like this big, endometriomas they're called, like on my ovary, and it was like connected to my bladder. So kind of like sticky glue in your body too, so like stick to other organs and stuff together,
Oh
like it just
wow.
damages your organs. It's just, that's how crazy this chronic illness is. But the medical system still doesn't really talk about it or know about it. Unfortunately, it's not a very educated topic that they
Yeah.
learn. So
Yeah, and
yes.
what you said about the statistics, there are
Yeah.
probably a lot of women who are going undiagnosed.
Ooh, that's yeah.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes,
Because I
it
know a
takes like,
lot of women
yeah.
who have a lot of similar
Yeah.
symptoms to this. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy though. But nevertheless, you gotten over a lot of things. And
I know.
now, how old are you? Because I know you were talking about
I'm
my age, but how old are you?
currently 35, about to be 36.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah. All right, I
Awesome.
got you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you're still fairly
Yeah.
young. So this is a good age to have a baby anyway,
Yeah,
though. So
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
because once you get, I don't know. People do it though. People do it after,
Oh
in
yeah. Oh
late
yeah.
40s and 50s,
Yeah.
but to me, I feel like this is that time because you're able to, keep up with your baby and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all those phases. But this is definitely a blessing. Are we going to get the information from her page just in case someone wants to
Yeah, we'll
reach out?
put all of that. We're gonna put that right inside of
Awesome.
once we roll the credits. So
Okay,
they'll be able to they'll be able to reach out to you, have your information, and all that. We're gonna do it up real nice for you, Kathy, because this is a big deal.
Amazing.
Yes.
I'll be honest with you, ladies. Y'all kind of lost me when y'all start talking about the period.
Look,
I was like,
I
oh,
saw, I saw your leg. I saw his leg moving. And
I was like, all right,
Hey,
ladies.
see, this is why we need to talk about it so
Yeah,
people
really,
get
we do.
comfortable about these
Oh my
topics.
God.
Exactly. We all need to be comfortable
Yeah, we
about
do,
it
we do.
because the thing is, you guys are constantly in those crevices, so you should know.
No, yeah. If you have a wife or a sister or a daughter,
Yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
know somebody with this or
That's
going
true.
through this.
You know what? That's so true. I was making a joke about it, but I was like, oh my God, ladies. All right. Time to go.
I know, but I'm serious. I saw his foot, and all I could do, I was trying to keep my laughter in because his little foot was there.
I was like, all right. What do I stay? Do I go?
No, you stay and you
Stay.
listen.
I stay.
Look,
And
you need to stay, okay?
Oh my God! You know what? I tell you what. This is you know what? This is beautiful. This is beautiful.
love
And
it.
Kathy and Sonny, you're absolutely right. We need to hear this because I
Yes.
think sometimes as men we can be insensitive because of a lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
But once we hear this knowledge, I had to make it a little light, just make
Yes,
everybody
it's
laugh
okay.
a little bit. It's part of my personality. So, so but
Love it.
in all seriousness, we do need to, these kind of conversations need to happen so that we can be a little uncomfortable, so we can hear the knowledge, so we can be a little sensitive to maybe your spouse, your girlfriend, your
Yeah.
fiance, whatever the relationship is,
Right.
because we know we live in a different world today, and there are all types of relationships where
Oh, yeah.
people are trying to have babies.
Definitely.
And so
Definitely.
this message will sound the alarm for all of those
Yes.
who are even in non-traditional, as we say, non-traditional relationships. So this message will reach everybody.
Yes.
And you're right, it is uncomfortable to talk about it.
It is.
You're
but it's
sitting here.
necessary.
It's necessary.
And I think it may even help, men to understand more that a lot of women, some women say that,
Yeah.
they'll say, oh, I'm on my period.
Right.
They may not want to be bothered, but
Yeah.
having a cycle is not an easy thing, okay?
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm familiar with the, the heavy flow, and like it's an uncomfortable thing, especially if you're working and out and about, and
Yeah.
all kind of things can happen to us. So
Yeah.
give us some grace, guys.
Hey,
Give us some grace.
hey, I'm not saying anything else.
Us women go through a lot, okay?
I
Yeah.
must say, listen, you're absolutely right, because as I was sitting here listening, I was like, wow, what women have to go through.
I'm
And
telling
then
you.
what was the other? There's another. I know we kind of just going on, but I still think this is good though.
Yeah,
What's the
yeah.
other? There's another disease that women deal with that has to do with a cyst on the ovaries too. Fibroids.
PCOS.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fibroids.
Fibroids.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, women.
My mom has had issues with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Well, really, I think a lot of African American women deal with.
I think so too.
fibroids.
I think so too. Yeah. And so I wonder if there's a connection with that too. Does that make it hard for women to bear children too as well? Because they sound kind of similar.
Yeah, it does sound similar. similar to
Fibroids.
fibroids.
Yeah, you know.
I don't know. I'd have to do some research on that.
Yeah, I
I'm
was
not
just
that
curious because
familiar,
whenever,
but
yeah, because when you start talking about cysts on the ovaries, you know, that's always like, oh my God, that could be cancerous. Just
Yep.
as you stated before,
Yeah.
you know, you're sitting here like, you know, as men, we don't know.
right.
We're just
Yeah.
like, hey, baby, can you go to the store? Make sure you get this type of whatever it is that you need. We're always nervous when we go down that aisle. You're looking like, somebody watching me get these. I'll grab. Which one did you say?
Right.
You come home with the wrong thing, and it's like, oh my God, I got to go back and torture myself again. Let me walk down this aisle and get something else. So, I mean, but it's good to have this conversation in all
yeah.
seriousness because it could be something that your wife is dealing with, your
Yeah.
girlfriend, spouse, whatever.
Right.
You know,
Your daughter.
your
You
daughter.
just-
Yeah,
Definitely.
whatever it is. So, thank you, Kathy, for enlightening us and illuminating this conversation even more so to
Yeah.
help men even be more comfortable.
That's right. More
Yeah.
comfortable.
More
talking about
comfortable.
it. And maybe to even be more sensitive.
Ah, that
Yeah.
Where, because like just thinking about what you were talking about with your
Yeah.
husband,
too. Yeah.
sensitive in the area of, I want a baby, but
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
I'm trying, buddy. Something's wrong. I mean, be patient with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good story.
Yeah,
This is
great story,
awesome.
Kathy. This is often and listen, we're gonna have a little fun right now. So listen, I know you speak Mandarin.
Yeah.
So if you would you say a little something in Mandarin for us before we leave? And then I'm gonna
Sure.
let you say something positive too. I want you to say something positive to the ladies, but can you say something in Mandarin? You can say something positive in Mandarin if you like. Hey,
We won't know what you're
Um,
saying.
we won't know
but-
what you're saying, but hey,
I'll just say something short in Mandarin. I'll just say
okay.
谢谢你们，让我今天跟你们聊天，讲我的故事给你们听，谢谢。I just said thank you guys for having me here and sharing my story, and it was such a delight to talk to you guys. And to end this, to end it on a positive note, like honestly, if you really want something in life, like, you really can obtain it. And we are all examples of it. You both and me, like, just me being able to share my story. I just hope that you can see that me going through all this and still coming out at the end of the tunnel and having that light, we are all that light. We are all these amazing infinite beings, super powerful beings that we forget. And when you unlock that, see the true power and freaking brightness light pop up and show up in your life, and you'll just be living literally the best life that you can ever live. And this is
Yeah.
what I call living the BS life, the bliss off life.
All right.
I like that. Though. I
Me
like
too.
it. It can stand for so many different
Yes,
things. Can't
it
it?
could.
Oh, I love it.
Awesome.
Kathy, I tell you, you are a gem.
Yes.
You are a beacon of light, and we really do appreciate you for stopping by the Ross Cloud podcast. And man, continue to do what you're doing. We're proud of you over here.
Yes,
I'll say that to you. We're super proud of you. Really, you are an amazing individual. I guess that's what you do. Is that how you do it?
The heart.
My heart's so jammed up. All right, there you go. All right. You get what I'm trying to say, okay?
Who he trying, guys?
But I want you to know you're a special person, and of course, we're going to continue this. We're going to continue this relationship,
Yeah.
and hopefully, you and Sonny can continue to connect as well.
Definitely.
So you guys can build a bond as well. And when you get ready to write that book, or before you even write that book, though, we're still going to have you on because there's some things I want to incorporate in this show, and I want you to be a big part of it. And but again, I appreciate you, and Kathy, we love you over here. Okay, let me just say it without putting
I love
hearts.
you guys too.
I'll
I
mess up
love
the
you
heart.
guys too.
We love you too. I my napkin in there. Sorry.
Right. Yeah.
Did you
We
see the
love you
heart?
too.
It showed up. There was hearts.
It did.
popping
Did
up.
it? Did his work? Oh yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see your heart. Oh yeah.
Now you got to go home and do that to my girl.
I try to. It's a little jammed up, but I'll give her the best heart I can, I guess.
Oh, my
Oh,
goodness.
man, this is great. Kathy,
Yes.
thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah.
And again, continue to be a beacon of life and a light. And if you would, tell the folks how they can contact you and how they can follow you before we close out.
Yes. Thank you again for having me. And people, if you guys want to find me, I have my own website. My website is www.kathymao.com. Or then you can find me on Instagram. My handle is kathy.mao. Or on TikTok and Facebook is Kathy Mao without the dot.
We love it.
Awesome. Yes.
We love it. And we thank you so much. And this is the Rose Cloud Podcast. I'm Chris Ross.
I'm Cassandra Wright,
Hey.
aka Sunny.
Listen, make it a great day and keep being great. Peace.
Today's episode of the Ross Cloud Podcast is sponsored in part by GospelStationCharts.com, where you can view gospel radio station song charts and track the promotion of your song, such as view how many stations are playing your song and how often, including what day and time your song played. Check it out now. Visit GospelStationCharts.com.